Good morning. This is Sara Satch with Posh Pooch Designs, and this is our virtual Halloween party. I'm gonna take off my glasses so I can see. I'm so excited. I have some fun things planned today, and just in case you don't know, every Tuesday we have a not a virtual party, but actually we kind of do. Good morning, Michelle. Every Tuesday at 9:30 Mountain Time, because I'm in Colorado, we have a live video chat. We talk about yarn, we talk about crochet. Sometimes I tell a silly joke, and sometimes it's really silly. We like to have a good time, we like to learn, and we also like to have fun. I call it fun and informative videos. Well, today is Halloween, so I thought I'd wear my costume, and I popped this video out. Good morning, Michelle. I'm not ready to clink yet because I'm going to show you a drink in just a little bit, a coffee drink. I didn't clarify that, and someone said, I thought you didn't drink. Well, I don't, and it looks like I'm off center here a little bit. There we go. I don't drink alcohol, but I do drink lots of coffee, and so I'm going to have a little a coffee drink for us today. I'm calling it the Say No to Pumpkin coffee. Then I'm going to show you how to make a fun little snack that everyone will love. I'm also going to teach you how to throw a proper fit. And then I have a few little notes on how to take care of your puppies, your dogs, and your kitties around Halloween, because it can be very frightful for them if you have a lot of little people knocking at your door. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is our coffee drink. And I call this the Say No to Pumpkin drink because I am the only person, I think, in America, besides one or two other people, that do not care for pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread. I don't like pumpkin cookies or pumpkin pancakes or pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Oh, mercy, you walk through the grocery store and everything is pumpkin. And I get really happy when we get past the pumpkin and it goes to peppermint and chocolate. Now, if you're looking for this hat that I'm wearing, I put the pattern out on Sunday. I really wanted to do it on Friday so that there'd be a little time between when I put the pattern out and Halloween. But we had a little snafu on Friday and we lost heat in the house. And so we had to wait till they come and fixed it. And although I had electricity and a nice fireplace, with people coming and going, I just was unable to get the pattern, or the video, I mean, edited. But I got it out there on Sunday evening, and so the pattern for this silly hat, I call it my Oma, let's see, Oma's Curlers hat. My granddaughter said that this hat should be called, uh-oh, Oma's got curlers in her hair. But that's okay, we're heading to Walmart. She's got a fabulous sense of humor. All right, I'm going to click down to the top cam so we can see the drink. And what we're going to do, this is my Halloween coffee cup. I love this. It's so cute. It just says trick or treat. And what you do to make it is I've got my piping hot coffee right here. Pop this lid off so I don't burn myself. I've got a paper towel over here just in case I need it. All right, so what you do is you take a cinnamon stick or two, and you just drop it down in there. Then you take your orange, and if you'll notice I have a Band-Aid on my finger. I wounded myself because I was trying to talk on the phone with my husband and slice oranges at the same time. Don't do that. All right, so to make our coffee, which I'm calling Say No to Pumpkin, is you put a couple cinnamon sticks in your cup. Then you put a couple of squeezes of orange in there. Okay, and then I just drop the little wedge of orange in there because I like the flavor of cinnamon and orange. And I've got piping hot coffee in here, and you just pour the coffee right on top of that orange and that cinnamon. And this is a great drink for people who are not big on like the apple cinnamon drinks. And that's all you do to make our Say No to Pumpkin drink, or Say No to Pumpkin coffee. I am just not a pumpkin lover. Good morning, Debbie. I didn't see you pop in. All right, so here's my drink, and it's just fabulous. When it's really cold outside, hot coffee is great, but if you can put a touch of cinnamon and orange in it, oh, it is so soothing. Now, I don't put any cinnamon in, or I'm sorry, I don't put any sugar in mine. I put about a half a Splenda just to make sure there isn't any bitterness in there. But between the orange and the cinnamon, it is really, really yummy. I'm going to move these out of the way. This is the cinnamon that I bought, by the way. It's called Indonesian cinnamon sticks. And I really like it because it is true cinnamon. It's true cinnamon sticks. One of the things that I have found, in the past, I was sensitive or allergic to cinnamon. And I realized that with some of my hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's issues, that you can have weird food allergies. And so I had bought this tea, turmeric tea, which I just love. And it had cinnamon in it, only I didn't know it. And it was cinnamon from, I think, India. And I had absolutely no reaction to it. And so now I've been able, now that I'm getting past a lot of those things after my surgeries, I am able to have cinnamon again. But I have to make sure that it is the real cinnamon, because sometimes in America, they add in what's called cassia just to make the cinnamon go farther. So if you missed our drink, basically it's orange slices, cinnamon sticks, and hot coffee. Oh, it is so scrumptious. Yummo. Okay, so that's our Say No to Pumpkin drink. If you're a pumpkin lover out there, that's good for you, because pumpkin is really good for you. I am just not. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is a fun little snack. And this is a great little snack. You can do this with your kids or with your grandparents or anybody. And it starts with candy corn. Let me put you back on the top cam again so you can see what I'm doing. In this bowl, I have my favorite little pumpkins and candy corn. This is called the fall mix, I believe. You can use regular candy corn and you can use the mix. The thing is, a lot of people don't like the candy corn. So if you take 1 part candy corn, 1 part honey roasted peanuts, and 1 part M&Ms, and mix them all together. I'm going to use my fingers and just mix them up. It makes a scrumptious snack. And I learned this actually from my daughter's mother and father-in-law. We were over there one evening, I think maybe I don't know if we were celebrating a birthday or what we were doing, and I noticed that her father-in-law was eating candy corn and peanuts, and I thought, oh, gross, I do not like candy corn. Oh. And he said it tastes like a Payday candy bar, and if you put the chocolate in it, it tastes like a Babe Ruth. And I was like, no. He's like, yeah, try it. I couldn't stop eating this stuff. It was so good. Now, if you want to make it go a little farther, say you want to make this for a party, add a cup of Chex to it. Equal parts of each item, candy corn, peanuts, and M&Ms, each part of each item, plus a cup of Chex. And I like corn Chex because it's a little bit, in my opinion, sweeter and crispier. But you can use any of them, and it still makes a really great snack. So that's our snack. I call that my harvest snack or harvest snack mix. Super easy. You don't have to add anything. You know, a lot of Chex mixes, you have to add like the juices and the flavors and stuff. This needs nothing. The candy corn, the nuts, the M&Ms, and if you want to add the Chex. That's what it is. All right, is everybody clinked in? I forgot to clink in with everybody. Hello, Sandra. Oh, my cup's backwards. There we go. Trick or treat, smell my feet. We used to say that when I was a kid. I don't even know where it came from. All right, so that's our drink. Say No to Pumpkin, orange and cinnamon coffee, our mix, which is our snack. And then the next thing we're going to do is called a craft. And let me show you this little guy. I'm going to show you the proper way to throw a fit. Let me read you this little poem that I wrote. I am a little fit. When the pattern is too hard and the gauge is just not right, the yarn is too bulky, and your stitches are too tight. The hat is too big, and it just will not fit. Don't get angry or mad. Just go ahead and throw a little fit. This is just a little pom-pom I made out of sparkly yarn. Let me get it to the center here. Out of sparkly yarn, and then what is wrong with this guy? There we go. I made it out of sparkly yarn, and then I just added a couple of little eyeballs, and I just hot glued them on. And I made a ribbon, and this is a great gift to give to anybody who crochets or knits. And I have the poem itself, here it is right here, on the blog, so you can go to the blog and copy that off if you want to. I set it up so you could copy the picture, and you can make these, just print them off on your printer and punch a little hole if you want, and then with the string that you made your pom-pom, you can tie that on and give it to somebody. So don't get mad, throw a little fit. Here's your little fit. Is that not the funnest thing? You know, when the kids were little in the car and stuff, they would get bored, and so I would have all these little pom-poms and things, and we'd throw them around. Yeah, the strings get everywhere, but they're easy to clean up. Better than having food, right, in the car. So hello, Carol and Judy and Aurora. I want to say hello to everybody. Hello, Debbie and Sandra. And did I miss you, Michelle? I don't know if I missed you. I'm so glad you're all here, and we're having a lot of fun today. We're drinking our Say No to Pumpkin, and if you missed that, how to make that, that's at the beginning of the video. We're having our Chex Mix. I should say No to Chex Mix because there's none in there, right? But you can add it. And then we just had our little craft. It's super easy, like I said. You just make a pom-pom any size that you want to. Glue on a couple of little eyeballs, and then print off this little poem, and you can give it to a friend, or you can keep it for yourself when you're ready to throw a fit. All right, now the last thing I wanted to talk to you about before I show you a couple of new items, I'm going to pop on my glasses so I can read this. And what this is I had someone ask me, let me take them back off for a second. I had someone ask me, you know, I have a bunch of little dogs, and they're all dressed up in Halloween. You know, mine have their candy corn bandanas on. Here's Max. You want to say hello, buddy? Come here, buddy. Here he is. He's got a little candy corn bandana on. Here's Rosie. She wants to model too. Come here, precious. There she is. She's wearing the one with the face. But she said, you know, I love handing out candy at the door. They live in a great neighborhood that she loves to give out the big candy bars, and she has a real good time with it. She decorates, but her concern was her dogs. And the first thing to remember is chocolate is poison for dogs. Never ever give your dogs chocolate. The other thing you have to be careful of is peanut butter, because they're starting to add a lot of weird things in peanut butter. So read the directions. There's some chemical that makes it sweeter and smoother or something. I can't remember. But just make sure that you use an all-natural peanut butter if you're going to give your dogs peanut butter. But the other thing is, I like to have my dogs in their bandanas or in an outfit when someone comes to the door. Now, we live on areas where there's 5 and 10 acre lots, so we may get 10 trick-or-treaters. And so they know if they come to my house, they're going to get a good candy bar. But the thing is, the doorbell can scare your dogs. The knocking constantly. Children are all excited and hyped up on candy, and they're happy and they're having a great time, but that can stress out any size dog. And so it might be better if you took your dog and put them in their crate with their favorite toy and favorite blanket. Or like my dogs, they don't sleep in crates. They sleep on the bottom of our bed, at the foot of our bed. And, well, they start that way. By morning, Rosie's usually on my pillow. I don't care. But anyway, you know, you might put them in a place where they feel comfortable and safe, rather than the constant knocking at the door. And a lot of dogs that are even really great people dogs, they get overexcited with the excitement of the kids, and overexcited with all the things going on and the parties and things. And so you want to make sure that they're in a safe place and that they're not scared. And I know 4th of July is the #1 day for dogs that run away. And I think Halloween is probably about the second because there's just too much fun and excitement and it's really hard on them. Because they get just as excited as we do. You know, I love opening that door and seeing all those little princesses and warriors and superheroes. I love the costumes. They're lots of fun. But they scare dogs. Masks and hats. My dogs, if my husband comes in and he's wearing a different hat than he usually wears, they bark at him a little bit and then they're like, oh, that's our daddy, you know. So you need to be careful when it comes to the dogs. Now, something you can do, if you have, because everyone carves a pumpkin, right? Or like us, several. Okay, because they're just lots of fun. Hello, Jeanette. Didn't see you pop in there. Clinkin. All right. So one thing that you can do with your leftover pumpkins, if you painted the pumpkin, wash it all off and get it all nice and clean. If you just carved it, you don't have to do anything. But if you put a candle in it or anything plastic or anything, make sure that the pumpkin is completely empty and clean. You don't want any paint residue. You don't want any dye residue, anything on it. And then you can take that pumpkin and you can chop it up into little pieces and just boil it. And then put some water in there. Don't just put the pumpkin in there. Put some water in there. And I do this in my crock pot. My leftover pumpkins, I just slice them up into little pieces. Not the stem, just the pumpkin. I put it in my crock pot with some water and I put it on low and I just let it cook all day long. And then at the end of the day, and you can do this on your stove as well. At the end of the day, I pour the water into another container. That water is good for your plants because it has lots of good nutrients from the pumpkins. Okay, so if you want to pour it on your house plants or if you still have plants outside, you can do that. It won't be wasted. Okay, and then the next thing you can do is you can squish up with your potato smasher or your blender all that pumpkin. You don't need to skin the pumpkin. You don't need to do anything except take the stem off and chop it in little pieces. Now, you don't want to put the seeds in there. Even though they're good, they can be a choke hazard and get caught in little dogs' intestines. So you don't want to put the seeds in there. But you just chop it up into little bits. My dogs eat pumpkin twice a day. They get a teaspoon at breakfast, and they get a teaspoon at their afternoon lunch. It's about 2 o'clock they eat lunch. And it's really good for digestion for dogs. If you have a dog that has gland issues where you're constantly have to take him to the vet to release those glands, pumpkin is perfect. It's a great fiber. Now, you can use that pumpkin as well. Make pumpkin bread or whatever. I don't because, like I said, I don't like pumpkin. But my dogs love it, and it's really good for them. And one of the things that my vet told me with Rosie, because she's had to have 3 surgeries on her little glands, 2 of them just because they became impacted, and then the last one because one burst. And that's very traumatic on them, and I know it's very painful. And if we can give them pumpkin, and it will help with that digestion, and it's lots of fiber, and has lots of good nutrients in it, then you're not wasting your pumpkins, and your dogs will like it. Now, I don't know about cats and pumpkin. I don't know anything about the cats' nutrition and needs. I do know that cats can be very skittish when you have all the trick-or-treaters coming to your door. So again, you may want to make sure your cat is in a safe place, where they feel safe, where they feel comfortable, just like your dogs. And, because my dogs, when people come to the house, they feel like everyone's coming to see them. And they get all excited. They expect to be petted. They expect to be loved on and, kissing you back and stuff. Because that's just how my dogs are. And even a dog, like I said, that is very comfortable around people might become just a little bit skittish with kids dressed up in masks and, lots of door knocking. And also hyped up on sugar. I think I had too many of these pumpkins this morning because I'm all hyped up on sugar myself. Now, just to kind of go back over what we did today, we made the cinnamon stick coffee. That's the say no to pumpkin. And that's at the beginning of the video. And then we also made the candy corn peanut M&M mix. That's at the beginning of towards the beginning of the video as well. We talked about how to throw a proper fit. And then, of course, my lovely costume. The video's out there, the pattern's out there. You can make it. It's a basic double crochet pattern with a slip stitch trim, and then we just attached the rollers. Super easy. And it's a really great just double crochet beanie hat. that you can wear and make in different colors and not add the rollers. It's just a good warm hat for here in Colorado. Okay, now the last things I want to show you is yesterday we got our number 3 video up for our vintage patterns with the twist. And this is the angel I did. And I used that silver, I'm going to grab that yarn, party yarn. And this has become one of my new favorites. It's a worsted weight number 4, and it's got the metallic thread going through it. And when I first looked for the Simply Soft yarn, you know, Simply Soft yarn usually comes in a little bit longer thing, and usually the threads are just a little bit thinner. Well, this one's got really good consistent thread, and it's absolutely beautiful yarn. And I've got something else I'm going to do with this also, because I bought a couple of those. Well, we got the pattern and the video up yesterday for our vintage Granny Square angel ornament. And one thing, I didn't say this in the video, as you make her with 2 granny squares, if you make the 3rd granny square, you can attach 2 in here, attach the sides, and she can become your treetop angel as well. Someone asked me about that, so I thought I would mention it. Okay, then the other thing I have coming along, we have our new square, and I'm not done designing it because I designed one, you know, for our new square for November. I believe it's yellow topaz is the color that we're going with for the birthstone. And I did one, and I thought, it's not pretty enough. And so I'm tweaking it up a little bit, and I'll show it to you next week. So, and then I'll probably put the pattern out on next Monday, because it'll be the first, you know, today's the 31st. And so it'll be the first Monday in November. The other thing we have is this cute little dress. And this is a little dress for the American Girl doll. And this is my simple doll dress that I did before. And I'm working on a video. And this is the red heart stripes. And I love how it turned out on this little dress. And I'm going to do some things on my YouTube channel, some patterns that I've already written for the American Girl doll and for toys. And I'm going to just do some things that make good gifts that we can make. You know, if you're giving your daughter or granddaughter or great-granddaughter or sister, you know, a new American Girl doll, or she really loves American Girl dolls, they also love to have the clothes. And so that's why I'm going to do some of those. I've got a little baby doll that's a stuffy that I'm going to show you how to make that's real easy. And just some things like that, just so you can make some gifts for Christmas as well as buy some. And I love a homemade Christmas. I always have, and I love to make things for Christmas. So that is our virtual Halloween party today. I hope everyone had a good time and learned some fun things. Oh, Petra's talking about the cats. I didn't see this. She says cats don't drink enough water and are fed dry food, and that's why they get kidney diseases. Well, and I have heard a lot about cats having kidney diseases, but I had a cat when I was growing up, but my husband and my daughter both are allergic. And so we just didn't have one in the house. We always had dogs. And so when it comes to the kitty cats, I love them, but I just haven't had one in a really long time. So anyway, I want to wish everyone a happy, happy Halloween. Eat lots of candy and keep that chocolate away from your dogs. And I want to leave you with this last thought. A few words of kindness can change someone's day. It can change their month, and it can change their year, and it can actually change their life. So remember, in a world where you can be anything, choose to be kind. Have a great Halloween.